I've been joined with Danny Vaughn, who is getting ready to go on stage here at Clunys in Newcastle, England. Hi Danny, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
My pleasure. Perfect timing.
You've quite an impressive musical career, all the way from being a vocalist in Wasted through to Ty Kettle, then from the Inside Project, on to your self-named band, Vaughn, and back to Ty Kettle, and a few other projects in between, like the Illegal Eagles.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff cropping up in there.
Well, you've come full circle, more or less, and back with Ty Kettle. But how did it all begin in Wasted?
Well, it's a funny thing, getting ready for these shows. I had to sit and think about some of that, and it's literally 28 years ago I said, I think I want to be a musician. And it's sort of where it all started. And Wasted would have ended up being about 22 years ago when we did the first album.
Right.
And that was because it's just one of those bizarre, drawn-out occurrences that happens with musicians a lot, where you meet someone who knows someone who knows someone who's met someone, and your name comes up. And
you know, who you know, sort of.
Yeah. It just and when they were looking for, they were having problems with Finn at the time. They weren't agreeing with him, and they didn't want to do the whole cattle call thing. So somebody just went, I worked with this guy in America very briefly, because Paul Chapman and I had done a little together.
Right.
And he was quite good. Let's just get him over. So what it was they had been slotted in. It's all very bizarre, as everything is with Wasted. They were slotted in for a festival in Tel Aviv, Israel. And Finn said, I don't want to do that. And we're like, well, we are. So I said, right, call him. So I had 2 days, I had 3 days rehearsal, which went down to a day and a half, because the other day and a half was spent watching them drink. And just learning mostly UFO songs and some Wasted songs.
Right.
And then flying off to Israel.
There's a video on YouTube with, who's in it? He falls off stage.
Oh, with Pete, yeah, that's recent, of course, twice, in one song.
Good video though.
He wouldn't be Pete without it.
Well, that's quite impressive,
Yeah, and that was my audition, was to play in front of somewhere around 15 to 20,000 people, and they said, if you do good, you're in. And the next morning, despite the fact that there were like 15 bands on, some amazing talent. I mean, it was a mixture of rock and jazz, because Al Di Meola played, and Billy Cobham played, and Climax Blues Band, Marillion were the headliners. My picture's on the paper next day, front page, going, And I went, well, I guess you're in. So that's where it started,
Excellent. Okay, moving on to early Ty Kettle days. How did Ty Kettle become?
Well, that was just me thinking after Wasted that I was some kind of rock star at that point, and that the phone would just ring incessantly, and it didn't. And I went on a few auditions and didn't get them, and I was absolutely shocked me, and I learned a good lesson from that. Because you just think, I'm the shit now, right? No, you're not. So finally just said, well, I better do a band that I want to do then, if I can't get involved with, because that's what it was. It taught me a lesson. One of the auditions I went on was for a fledgling little band called Skid Row.
Really?
And they were friends of mine, and I was shocked when they said, well, it was really good, but it's not quite what we were looking for, until I heard Sebastian, and then I went, oh, that's what they were looking for, because he has something else entirely going on from me. And that's what taught me, it's not about, can you hit the notes, it's so many things, do you fit into this idea? And singers have a rougher time with that than anybody else, because they put their stamp on the band by the sound of their voice. So I just realized that instead of trying to fit into somebody else's, I better start coming up with a game plan and making my own. So I had met Michael a little bit before that, and I just was so impressed by him as a drummer and a person and all that. So he and I just said, look, let's just make a band. And that was it. We did what we called pretty much rock and roll boot camp, which was, once we found everybody, everybody lived together, everybody rehearsed together, we went on jobs to make money to pay the bills together. It was solid training for about 6 months, but within 6 months we were being looked at by every major record label there was, so it was a good plan.
It was a good plan, yeah.
Oh, happy you.
Don't come easy.
Do you want any sauce or anything?
It was quite a big album as well.
It is and it isn't. It's a funny thing. We were lumped in the same category with our peers of people like maybe Warrant or Danger or Poison, and they all sold millions. We never did. We didn't sell anything like that. We were a word of mouth band. We were a band that anybody that saw us live told their friends, you got to see them, because Tyketta really was incredibly strong live. But we didn't actually sell that many records. It's about as underground as you can get.
Because you were I remember a documentary back on MTV way back in '94 when you were touring somewhere, I think it was in London, and it was in the Strength in Numbers album. You did an interview with Vanessa Warwick.
Yeah, Vanessa Warwick was very supportive of Tyketta.
I mean, that's how I got to know you guys. I never heard of Tyketta before that.
She was doing a lot at a time when a lot of other people were walking away. At that point, Nirvana was out and all that.
Yeah.
So I think they filmed us at Milton Keynes, if I'm not mistaken, which wasn't a great show. Just a venue with absolutely no personality or soul whatsoever. And she'd actually done something I still want to get a hold of. She directed in studio at MTV. We did a version of The Last Sunset, and it was all done with a fantastic backdrop and everything else. And she videoed it and everything else. It was really good, and I'd love to see the final results.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Vanessa, if you're out there, give me a call.
And the band named Tyketta, how did that come about?
Oh, you're not going to ask me that.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't know the story, so...
That's been told so many times. We had just gone through every name you could think of to the point where you're sitting around going, right, ham sandwich? How does that sound? And Brooke had been out working somewhere in Brooklyn, and he'd seen it spray painted on a wall. He says, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a gang tag or something, but it looks pretty cool. So we were all like, yeah, sounds good. Maybe people think we're Japanese. Could be kind of interesting, Looked it up, made sure it didn't mean anything awful, which it doesn't, and went for it. And then got the bright idea of let's go take photos by the wall, only to find out that Brooke's not a very good speller because the wall says Tyketta. So that was the end of that idea. But it stuck anyway.
Yeah. A very unusual name.
When you think about it, Def Leppard, not the best name ever, but eventually nobody cares. Just becomes who you are.
Good, then that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You reformed back in 2007 with Tyketta. How's the response from the fans been with that?
Well, the first reforming was 2004. When we did our actual official reunion. It was just, the timing was right. There were so many times that we've been asked, maybe an event would come up, and it would be because of money. We'd never there were some old wounds that should have healed, and they hadn't. So eventually one of us went, no, come on, let's not just do it for money, because we always had fun when we played. Let's at least, when we do it, have fun. And when we finally did, it was.
Right.
Yeah, and that was a good reason to do it. So, and now, occasionally back on the boards again.
Good. Yeah, good to see you back.
Thanks. It's going to be fun. It's always very hard touring when we do it. Luckily, it's not going to be very long, but we always do it the hard way.
There was quite a long period between Tyketta parting ways and reforming, and PJ is now a member with
Yes.
How did that come about?
Mighty Zitarosa. Well, it was initially just kind of a necessary thing because we had been contracted to do Firefest this year for the entire year from the year previous. Even though it had been announced that was it for us, and that was all down to Michael, and you can talk to him about it. He was the one who didn't want to do it anymore, and then he's the one who turned around and went, whoa, this was fun, I want to do it some more. Shoot me now. Anyway, but it was about a month before Firefest, Brooke suddenly announced he had a very, very lucrative offer with something that he had to go do, and they were not going to allow him to fulfill that contract.
Right.
So it was a big scramble, it wasn't, it's hard to fault him for it. It was something he needed to do financially and all that, but it just kind of left us in a bit of a lurch. So But PJ, of course, having played with me, was familiar territory. Was certainly, a fabulous guitarist. We knew he could do it, he jumped up and down for it, to get it done. So now what we did is we had Tony fill in to help us with the vocals and everything. And again, it was just so that we could deliver a proper show for Firefest. But we knew that PJ would stick around. We knew he'd be part of the band. So for the upcoming tour, we're going to actually have PJ and a keyboard player. Yeah. So his name is Bobby Lynch, and he's a very, very good keyboard player from New Jersey. He's played with a lot of different people like Southside Johnny. And that'll just, I think, fill the sound out. We liked having a slightly fuller sound this time. And, to be fair, Brooke did the work of at least two guys. Yeah. So, we need two guys to replace him. Yeah.
Okay. How does PJ fit in with Taiketo musically? Because obviously he'll have a different style.
Yeah, I think now more than ever he's figured that out. Because PJ really comes from a much more 90s metal approach. Even, real kind of death thrash stuff he's very good at. But he's expanded so much in his own musical horizons. He's big into jazz and things like that as well. So, first things first is really learning Brooks' style. It's one thing just to play the notes, but then somebody else's style is another ballgame. And he absolutely got it spot on for Firefest. Yeah. PJ is one of the most positive individuals around. If you were involved in pretty much anything, any big project that you just think, oh God, I don't know how I'm going to manage this, PJ'd be the guy you'd at least want in the room. Yeah, he brings a tremendous positivity to him. Right. Yeah, he's a very powerful presence, and he is on stage too. He brings a bit of a force with him, and he just plays like a monster.
Yeah, I have to admit, he was good on Firefest.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he stormed it. Yeah, you could tell he was a little happy.
Okay, so what progressed you to introduce a keyboardist?
Well, for this?
For Taiketo.
Oh, with Taiketo, we just, we're always looking to try things, and we did the two guitars, and it worked very nicely. We like the fullness of the sound, but there is a pretty decent amount of keyboards on Don't Come Easy, and it's never, I've done it a little bit with some of my solo tours when I had Kyle and stuff, and that was always very nice to have things like Burning Down Inside really get played properly, as we do tonight. We just thought let's fill that in. It's a combination of filling in with the keyboards, but also Bobby Lynch has a wonderful high singing voice. So the three-part harmonies, which are essential to Taiketo. That's what I'm saying. Brooke did two jobs because he had a marvelous voice. And so it's essential for Taiketo to be done right, to have three-part harmonies going all the time.
And why Bobby Lynch?
Bobby is someone that the guys in Jersey know. And since, aside from myself, that's where the band is primarily located, made sense to look for someone in the area, and he popped up. So I said, why aren't you looking at Bobby? The guy's amazing. So I've yet to meet him. Right. I won't meet him until rehearsals in January. But everybody else is already raving about it and said that the combination of people is very good. So Michael and I are two halves of the same. So right. If he tells me something's working, then I know it's working. I don't have to think about it.
That must be quite strange, not knowing somebody, but they're going to be a part of a band.
Yeah. No, it's not as strange as it sounds. Like I said, if I know, Michael and Jimmy are coming to me saying, wow, this really worked, PJ was really happy with it, then I know that it's not just musical. There's also, it's working in a certain circle of people. I hate to say the word vibe, but we do create it, and it's, you have to have that as well, because traveling together is not always easy, and you've got to create conditions that are as acceptable to you as possible. Yeah.
Okay. Forthcoming tour around the world in 18 days starts on the 15th of January in America. Would you like to walk us through some of the tour?
I would if I knew it.
Right, okay. You don't know it?
We're doing 2 shows in New Jersey and 1 in Massachusetts. I know that.
Right.
And then flying over here and then playing JB's in Dudley. And then we're off, it's like a country a day for a while. So we're doing 1 show in Madrid, 1 in Canary Islands, Las Palmas, 2 in Italy, 1 in Rome, 1 in Bologna, 1 in Switzerland at the Z7. Is that it? Did I miss one? Yeah. I mean, it's what we do. I mean, it's very limited what we can do.
In Sheffield.
Oh, of course, Corporation Sheffield. Thank you.
Holland, Weird.
So, and Holland, yeah. So, I mean, our time is always extremely limited because people have other things in their lives. They've got jobs, they've got families.
Yeah.
I'm the only gypsy still. So, you know, we won't be doing a lot every year, just a bit here and there. There's a couple of American summer festivals that we're going to do this year. We're very happy about. Just haven't actually signed it, so can't say, but and looking for some in Europe as well. You know, talking to the Sweden rock people, et cetera, and just trying to do bits and pieces wherever it's sensible.
Cool.
You know? So I mean, to a degree, we're back. You know, it'll never be a full-time thing. We're looking to, I mean, you know, Don't Come Easy and Strength in Numbers were both long ago deleted. And you can get them at exorbitant prices in Japan and on eBay and things like that. But we're looking to re-release them a little bit, and there's certainly talk of a new album. We'll just have to see how that goes.
Coming out of you, you guys have produced some great sounds in the last album, The Last Sunset. Yeah, that was different.
Well,
good. It was good. Don't get me wrong. It was good.
It was pure luck.
Some mix.
It was pure luck. It was just a case of where, you know, we were talking about, well, what is there anything we can do for this show and anything like that? And I had just moved recently, and opened a box. I was like, what the hell is in this box? And a bunch of these cassettes fell out. And I'm like, Mike, you're not going to believe what I found. You know, and so just shipped it all off. So literally all those songs were taken from cassette. And remastered as best as possible from cassette, and it was always to be that way. It was, you know, we never tried to sell it as anything other than, look, here's some stuff. People have always asked if there were any leftovers. That's all it is. You know, I don't consider any of those songs great ones that should make a new album. It was just more, here's some stuff that came close.
Big Wheels is quite a strong track.
Yeah, I think that was one of the better ones. You know, there are even a couple others floating around, but we had to just pick the right ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just, you know, it's something that we know a certain amount of fans would really like, and just put out. It's because we don't do it all the time, but I think it was okay to do it.
Right.
You know, sometimes bands just go, oh, here's something else we found, and something else we found. And, you know,
just keep pumping.
I don't think there's anything else to find. So.
Yeah. Any plans for a new album?
Well, as I say, we're going to talk about it. It'll all come down to time, which right now for me is scarce. And the thing is, if we write, the litmus test is if we write 3 or 4 songs, we all go, ooh, hang on, this is good.
Right.
And it's got a bit to live up to. I mean, for some people, it doesn't matter what we do. It's not going to be Don't Come Easy, and it'll end up being like, well, it was a nice try. You know, on the other hand, we wouldn't try and do something that was so ridiculously removed from what people know Taiketo to be. So we've got to make it sound similar to what we were.
The funny thing is, everyone shouts about Don't Come Easy being your best album. I don't know if it's because I got into Strength in Numbers before Don't Come Easy, but I find Strength in Numbers a better album than Don't Come Easy.
Yeah, some people do. And Strength in Numbers is a more diverse album. I think that's more me coming in there because, I mean, if you listen to my solo stuff, it kind of jumps from bit to bit and style to style. And that was more of that, where it was just like, well, you know, Inherit the Wind was something that was very, very, that was an Aerosmith influenced track, and then there was you know, Why Do You Cry was something I wrote in Memphis, and, you know, in the heart of the blues, and so it was just, well, let's diversify a little bit and see what happens. You know, we had some outside influences in Mark Hudson on that one, and, you know, so, yeah, I think it's every bit as strong. I definitely do. But, people have their favorites. Don't Come Easy, as you say, was the one that really introduced the band. So I think, you know, you can't set out to better something like that. Unfortunately, some people, that's their yardstick. They just do, you know. Well, top that, you know, write another Forever Young. Well, why? Why write another one? It's been, you know, it's been done. I'm not going to outdo Standing Alone. You know, as far as I may have another ballad to write, but I'm not going to try and compete with that. It makes no sense.
No, good. Moving on to your self-titled band and the latest album, Travelers, released last year. Very powerful album, by the way.
My favourite, thank you.
Very strong vocals in that, Danny, very strong.
It's my favourite thing I've done.
Yeah. Any plans for follow-up?
Again, time willing, yes, absolutely. I mean, most of the guys on Traveler are playing with me today. And so the band is always kind of, there and ready to do something if we can put it together. Yeah. Having the time, I'm not a fast songwriter. I never was.
All right.
So, having the time to put together songs that I'm willing to stand behind, that takes a little more time and effort. And as I say, I'm actually busier now than I think I was in 1991. So. I've got to parcel out time. We're talking about doing a proper acoustic album. We released the one I did at home ages ago, and all that is primarily just me at home. But I'm talking with Chris Childs about doing. I've got all these orphans. I've got about 18 songs that have no homes, and they wouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they run the gamut. It's real storyteller type stuff.
Right.
They wouldn't fit.
Right, I mean, they need an album.
There's always a bit of an oddball in every one of my albums, like something like Dulcimer Street. Everybody was like, "What the hell was that?" So it's stuff like that, that I just want to all put in one place. So I'm hoping to do that next year and do it properly, as opposed to me in a home studio tinkering around. It'll be, proper players, whether it be, we'll have violins and banjos and that kind of stuff. We'll see. So we're working on that idea, and three things. That one, at least talking about trying to write some new Taiketo stuff and trying to write some new Danny Vaughn stuff as well with us. Good solid rock album again.
Cool. Going to be busy.
I hope so. Yeah.
Any thoughts on Vaughn Band gigging next year?
If they have anything to say about it, yes. They've been busting my chops for the last week. Why aren't we doing this? So I certainly hope so. Again, all time related.
Yeah.
The Illegal Eagles tour twice a year, and it's 2.5 to 3 months every tour.
Wow, that's heavy.
So it's wonderful. The spring tour is running from February 19th to the end of April, and we're playing places like the Indigo Room at the O2. It's quite a big deal. Yeah.
Wow.
Edinburgh Playhouse. There's some really big venues.
Get to the Edinburgh one.
The Glasgow one is always great. I don't know what it is about playing Glasgow for that band, but the Glaswegian audience just treats it like it was the actual Eagles. They go mental from the minute the lights go out. And it's nice because, for the most part, the Illegal Eagles is a theater show, so it's tending to be a kind of polite listening audience. Of course, it's Eagles music, so there's quite a lot of ballads.
Yeah.
Glasgow doesn't care. They just start shouting and having a great time and singing along, and it's just, it's like our second home now. We love to play there. So, and I forget, we played the Pavilion this year, and we're going back to, what's the big one?
The SCCC?
No, Royal, is it Royal? It's right in the centre of town.
In Glasgow?
Yeah. I can't remember now. Anyway, it's a favorite. We've played there before. So.
Right.
Yeah, so it keeps us very, very busy. Well, that's the way you want to be.
Oh, yeah. I might be a wee bit biased, but I'd probably say that the Glaswegians are the rockiest crowd that I've come across.
Well, that's the thing that we always found funny, was because they were also told it's the toughest audience to make a dent with. Not with this band. They just decided right away, So yeah. So we do well in Scotland in general, but Glasgow is mental.
Right. No plans of going further north. Right.
We did this year.
Where did you go? Oh, you went up to Aberdeen. You did Bibles.
Yeah.
No, I meant as. Okay, sorry, I should have rephrased that.
Oh, for us, possible. Glasgow's always tough because, no offense, but it's tough to find venues that'll properly pay you. They don't want to pay what everybody else is paying for the band.
Yeah.
And, I hate to put, some simple brass tacks to it, but, you've got touring costs money and it's got to be funded. So, yeah, we're still looking. But I've got a few people I'm working with up there now, and hopefully, it'll come through again. Because we haven't played, in one form or another, I haven't played Glasgow in years.
Right.
The last time we played there was the Renfrew Ferry.
Although you played acoustically when you supported Journey last year.
And that was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, supporting Journey does help to bring people in.
Yeah. Okay, with all your musical success, did you originate from a musical background?
Not really, no. Later on, my parents have become musical again. My father's become a really wonderful classical piano player. And he played a little piano as a kid, but no, my mother unfortunately was always told she was not allowed to sing in the house. All the kids were like, don't sing! Then she'd hum and we'd tell her not to do that. Just not her strong point. But both my parents are artists. My father and mother are both painters.
All right.
So yeah, in that sense, yes, I come from a very artistic background, and my father would be the talent in the family, trust me.
So how did you get into the guitar?
Young teenage boy, best way to meet girls, isn't it? Just like everybody else. Oh, all right. Give it a try.
And who were your influences?
Oh, so many. You'd have to start at the Beatles. You have to. I mean, that's what my parents were listening to. There's different influences for different things, whether it be songwriting or performing. The first live band I saw that made me go, oh, I gotta do that. That was Blackfoot.
Right.
Oh God, Stevie Wonder. It's pretty endless, and there's different influences for different things. Taiketo was very influenced by Journey and very influenced by Night Ranger. I think Night Ranger was kind of who we wanted to be, that cool double guitar band, and then we never got the second guitarist.
I wouldn't associate Taiketo with Journey.
Yeah, I mean, certainly from a vocal standpoint, there was some of that. Where you just aspired to try and be that good, because they were the masters,
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Tonight's gig. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, so are we. Very excited about it.
Really good. I believe it's been recorded for a double live.
I may have misspoke about that. It's not a double apparently. What it is the people that have attended this and last night's show have the opportunity to have a very a full selection of the songs of the entire gig, whereas anyone that orders it after that will get a kind of a edited down. But I think it'll all fit on one CD. I keep forgetting CDs are 80 minutes long, so we can probably fit it all. We'll see, because it's an hour and a half
show.
So
it's a CD rather than a DVD.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, CD.
A CD.
We're doing a little taping and all that, but I don't think it'll be for anything for release. We'll probably throw it up on YouTube.
All right. Okay.
Things like that.
It'd be good to get you guys on.
Yeah, we're not doing it's not being done, professionally. We're just rigging up some cameras and all that, and it's just nice to do. I mean, YouTube has been an incredible source of stuff for me.
Yeah.
Especially ever since the Journey thing. Everyone recorded those shows on their phones and just put it up. And all of a sudden there are people writing in going, I didn't know you were still out there, So that's always, it's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Any surprises in the show tonight?
Tons.
Oh, good.
It's a song selection that's far from obvious. And the reason for that is, I decided I wanted to work with a piano player. So we've got stuff that really, there's several songs I've never done live ever before.
Right.
And it was just because we could, because we can proper use of the piano. It's, the set list is very self-indulgent for me. It's stuff I want to do. But it's also stuff that I normally don't do live. There's quite a bit from the insides, both 1 and 2.
Oh, cool.
There's quite a bit from my solo albums. There's only a few Taiketo songs. So it's really kind of a mixed bag.
Right.
And it was, like I said, it was an opportunity to present some stuff that I normally wouldn't necessarily present live. So, and the band's just risen to the challenge. It was a lot of work. And as I was telling you earlier, you tell most people it's an acoustic show, they just think, oh, well, it's simple then. And it's not. It's much harder work.
I would have thought it would have been simpler, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
You have to learn to completely reorchestrate. Whereas normally, if you've got two guitar players, they both play as much and as loud as they can together. Not with acoustics. You learn where one guy might do a bit more of a fill piece while another guy's strumming. It's not all just strumming and whacking away. You really start to get very, very interesting and subtle with what you can do. So, and I heavily learned that from playing with the Illegal Eagles, because it's about being part of an ensemble and not about just, a live rock show is just plowing straight ahead. This is a bit more sidestepping a little bit. So yeah, there are a lot of songs I've never done live.
Any wasted?
Not tonight. No. It was considered, but not tonight. No. Yeah. But see, I've done them live before, so that'll always resurface.
What else? Right, so the DVD's out and it's a CD, so there's not going to be any additional material like tour diaries or any unreleased
Not that I know
surprises.
of. No, not that I know of.
Basically, that's about it, Danny. Unless there's anything you want to add, like the websites or anything that you want to say.
Just only about these particular shows is that for whatever else, I'll be interested to see how people perceive them. Steve was just telling me that there were some really nice things already on the melodicrock.com soundboards. I'm really glad that people understood what we were doing. This, it always comes across so corny, but this is a little bit about sharing this, because no matter what the size of things, when you're a songwriter, to get out there and have 300 people show up and they know the words, they know the songs, they're taking part in it. It's not about, all right, everybody, I'm really cool, watch me. It's not. It's about let's all of us kind of take this music that, luckily for me, has come to mean something to some people. And particularly some of the ones I'm doing tonight mean a lot to me. Some of them are very, very personal songs, and it's just become an experience because I've been doing this for a long, long time. It's I'm at a point in my life where I'm literally grateful for every moment of it. And it's because, regardless, if I had a dime for every time somebody said, "I can't believe you're not bigger," I would be bigger,
Yeah, it is.
But it doesn't matter, because what I am is I'm still in the top 5% of everyone that's ever picked up an instrument and dreamed of doing something with it. I have, and it is dumb luck. And I think any player will tell you, there's very few that think, well, I'm great and fabulous and I deserve this fame. Fame doesn't have anything to do with being great and fabulous. It just falls on you if it happens, And, would I like to be rich on top of still good looking? Sure. But that's not to be, apparently.
Can't have it all.
No, can't have it all. So, but no, I'm really pleased that I can do something like this, and the people that I know get it. And tonight for us is more like, our Christmas party with all our friends anyway. I'm going to know pretty much everybody in here tonight. It's going to be most of the Firefest crew and everything else.
Yeah.
And so it's a real exercise in goodwill.
Good. Okay, that just remains. Oh, do you want to name your websites for anybody out there that wants to check
Do I?
out your websites?
Oh, well, DannyVaughn.com. That'll direct you to the main one, which covers the Taiketo stuff and everything. That's easy enough. Just the same thing on MySpace. I think it's under Vaughn Band in MySpace, I can't remember. Or my name.
Or your name.
Yeah, one of the two. They'll find it.
Okay, that just remains me to say thank you for joining me, Danny, and the very best of luck with everything you do in the future.
Enjoy the show. It'll be fun.
I will, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll cram you in.